Yeah. Again, very proud of our team. Again, after coming off a very big win for us as far as an important game against Alabama, being able to go on the road, which I did not know, which is a place that had haunted A&M for a while on some tough road games up there. I guess Colorado did too and almost got us again. I didn't know that history either. But for our kids to go up there and play a very good game against a good team who played well, come out the blocks very well, played well on both sides of the ball, creating turnovers, converting touchdown, getting control of the football game, then establishing it the rest of the day. I thought both fronts, offense and defensive lines, played extremely well in the game. For the most part, the whole game, we were able to run the football on offense, and I thought defensively, our defensive run stopping was excellent in the game. We had one that popped out. We misfit one, but I thought the front guys did an excellent job for the most part, being physical, affecting the quarterback, getting some throws out. And, of course, they created turnovers on defense, which were huge. We capitalized on offense, except on one of them. We got a penalty after one. I'll discuss that on one of the drives, and we missed a field goal. But then defense gave up a big drive in the second half and then in the first half, which is disappointing. But at the same time, the very next drive, what I loved about momentum swings, the offense was we were very mature, took long drives right back down and established touchdown drives right after they scored, after drives. We were able to run the ball a lot at the end of the game to eat the clock and be patient and to eat it away at the end of the game and things we did. Still a lot of room for improvement. I mean, kicking game was our kickoff coverage was excellent. I mean, all the ones that they returned, we all tackled inside the 15-yard line. Usually we get it kicked out, which is they had a strong wind at times in that game, which affected the field goal with the first field goal big time. But we were able to tackle. They got returns out. We haven't had many balls returned with Caden kicking. And we tackled those guys inside the 15, which was great to see, establishing field position. Punt returns didn't get many because of the way they were punting it. Disappointing thing, we missed a field goal. One was just, I think the wind caught the first one. Right, it was right at his, that limit right there. And then the second one, the snap was a little low and threw the timing off, which they were all straight, which we got to get that cleaned up. That hadn't happened. Caden's had an outstanding year. Seth's had an outstanding year, and our snappers and everybody has too. But I thought we got special teams there. Defensively, again, I thought did a nice job. Played some young guys offensively. Got the run game going. Still left some points out there. Had some plays we could have made. That Zach had a couple throws, but also we had a couple drops. We had 3 or 4 drops in the series there at times that we know was uncharacteristic. That we could have even scored more points. But we're getting better, establishing run balance. Things we have to do, understanding the momentum of the games, the swings, and we're doing so. Need to do that again. And then coming right back against South Carolina, who had a great win for them to be able to come back at the end of the game. Going to have a very tough opponent coming in. Defensive numbers are outstanding. Their front guys, you look at their guys, I remember you go back to Birch and Pickens and I don't know how it's Kingsley is the guy. I don't know how to say the guy. And Agbari or whatever, the defensive end, he's a really good player, affects things. Sterling, I mean, the guys inside, backers are very solid. Corners, good, can run. Safeties can really hit and tackle. Doing a really nice job with their scheme on defense. Offensively, returning leading rusher in the league. He's been banged up a little bit this year, but they can do it. They got a little scat back 21 who's a really good player. Receiver Van is excellent, can catch it. Again, the quarterback came in the game, and it really let him down, hit 75 yards of passes in that last drive because Doty, I guess, has foot injured. And they brought the other guy back in, and he did really well, played really well in the game. And they've come off a big win. They're 4-3, doing a nice job. It's another important game. We have to get out of the blocks. Great to be playing here. Hopefully get a great crowd with the 12th man and get the environment and atmosphere going again. A great SEC game and be able to go play and have a great week of practice. It's going to be very important to prepare. Well, it's been, like I say, it's just going into 8 weeks without an off week, which is our guys are grinding, and I love the mentality we have. We've been practicing harder, speed. You look at our GPS numbers, our speeds, our endurance, all that's really growing in how we're doing things, and our guys are having a good mindset. So excited about that part of it. So we got to play a great game against South Carolina. So questions?
Let's start with Brent, and then Zach and Travis.
What does it say about
Excuse me.
What does it say about Anias that he studies so many different positions and is able to do so much for you on the field?
Well, I mean, again, the intelligence of people and the learning of people is so good that, in his case, that allows you to do those things. And I think there's a lot of our players that are even on defense. Antonio Johnson plays safety, play nickel. Our corners do that. DeMarv, inside, outside. Our backers play nickel. They play dime. You see a chain doing different things at times. You see Spiller even coming out there. And also 85. 85, we do it. We're splitting him out. He's out wide. He's in the slot. He's in the backfield, motions. Those guys, and that's the name of the game now. I mean, you got to be able to mismatch guys and move guys. And your great players not only are instinctive to play, but they have great knowledge and are very intelligent to be able to play this game today, to be able to be utilized to the max of their abilities. And Anias and those guys really study the game.
So you must be doing something right if your name is linked to.
You wait to the second question, huh?
That's right.
It's usually third.
I know,
It's
you
usually,
really
usually
don't-
the third thing people ask you when they come up with something. It's usually the third thing they say is what they really want to ask you, not the second.
I counted
See,
your-
you're slipping again now. See,
Yeah.
it's usually, am I not right on that?
I counted your
when people
opening
bring up
statement
two,
as the
to
first
get you
one.
nonchalant on two of them and then hit you on the third one?
There you go.
On the third one?
We usually don't get a third one. so
No,
I
okay.
figured I better hit you
Wait,
with the
y'all
second.
been, no, some of y'all
So-
been doing that.
So I guess I'll cut to the chase. Do you have any interest in the LSU
No, listen,
job?
I'm gonna say this right now, and I don't want, it's in October right now. I love being here. This is the job I wanted. I'm being here. I got a great contract. I have an unbelievable chancellor, have an unbelievable president, unbelievable AD. That we're building something. We're recruiting great players. I really believe we're on the process of building something great. I plan on being here and fulfilling this contract and doing everything. My family has roots here. I got ranches here. I hunt here. I love everything about this place. And you don't, and listen, and I say that because listen, there's nothing going on there. There's nothing happening there, and I don't be disrespectful to anybody else. I coached there. It was a great place. We won national championships. It is one of the best, best places. It's a wonderful place. I love being an A&M, and I plan on being an A&M here and fulfilling my whole contract. I love everything about this place. And let me tell you something else. And the way this place has embraced me and my family, and including our foundation, the things that are going on with our foundation, the way the people have embraced it, the way people have done everything here in College Station. I love everything about the people here, the administration here, and everybody in charge here, and the people who run this organization. And I love it here.
Down front
No,
left.
that's about it. I don't know how else I can say it. Huh? I mean, that's about how else I can say it.
Well, Coach, since you did bring it up, everything that's gone with the Kids First Fund, I know that that's something that has been.
Let me tell you, it's amazing. And I always say I mean, you get emotional about it because it's amazing how many good people, always say all the things, crazy things going on in this world, how many crazy people in this world. There's 1,000 times more good ones, you know what I'm saying, that happen in this world. And what these people are doing and being able to do this, and, you can coach ball, but I always joked that, we honor coaches, we love players. Well, they're not curing cancer. I used to say it all the time when I was a kid, they're not curing cancer. Well, maybe we are. Maybe we can take this and what we can run with it and the effects it's going to have on children and families and things for a long period of time. And for these people to do what they're doing with Kids First is utterly amazing. And you have no idea. I can't say I appreciate it, I love it, how much I respect it more. There's no words that I can say, but I really do. And it's been amazing, the outgiving and pouring of the gifts and things that are going to our foundation.
As far as an X's and O's question, Zach, a couple of overthrows on screens. Is that just a body position getting
Well,
your
it's
feet set?
and two things. He's throwing over in the end, and two. Now, I'm gonna say this: he's got to put it right on him. We could have thought caught one. We got to get the flow and get the angle right, which we hit all week. I joked it. It was funny. I joked in practice. I said, guys, do we have any other plays? We're throwing these so daggone much. I said we need to practice something else. Well, I guess we need to practice, and we never missed a one of them. But and at the time, he's throwing over, just getting bad angles, and throwing over their ends. And that's part of it. You got to get your hands up, raise them up just some more, and hit it. And everything else, he had a good day. That's what I was looking at as far as he missed those. Had a deep throw to a chain that if he just lays it out on the corner, I think we get it. But we had a couple key drops in that thing too. But I thought he still managed the game. There's run checks, everything he did. He made some really nice third down throws, made 2 nice touchdown throws in the game, and he's getting better and better. And we still got work to do. But at the same time, we got to play a little better around him too in some of our routes. We had some critical drops on third downs on the sideline. We had one on a slant, a tight end, and then we had one on the sideline. We didn't run a good route. He read a backside route on a third down. It was going to put us in a short field goal that that kids didn't expect him to throw because we hadn't hit it all year because the coverage hadn't dictated it. They got it one time, and they overloaded the coverage, and he went right back to it, man. I mean, it shows me his mind and what he's doing in decision. And they didn't expect the ball, as crazy as that sounds. I don't say didn't expect it, but it was new and caught him, and we didn't execute it. But he is developing. He's getting better and better, and there's still things we got to clean up, without a doubt.
Down front, Travis, and then Sam on the left.
Did you have a bet on which one of us would ask the LSU question?
No, I didn't think about it, to be honest with you. I just said, I was just joking when you said it. I wasn't even, it kind of caught me off guard at the time.
Anyway.
I've been up there watching film.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway, a little bit out of left field, but how much is a head coach involved with the equipment and what equipment your players get and how
In what regard? What we order, what we see?
Yeah,
I mean, our equipment guys bring it to me. I say, I want the best of the best of things we have. I want the top of the line, and I want the safest things we have, and I want, I'm aware of everything we get for the most part.
Yeah, just how involved are you and how important is it for you what brand your team uses and things like that?
Well, I mean, we're Adidas school, so
Right.
we're going to love that and do that. But at the same time, we want the best for our players and the safest for our players, and like I say, all from that regard, it's very important to me. Because again, listen, here's I always say this: everything that touches a player, everything that affects a player, whether it's school, help, anything, it has to be of excellence. Has to be first class. It is a championship mentality, a championship. Everything about it says it's the best of the best because you want them to be the best of the best, so you treat them the best of the best, you get them the best of the best, but they have to act with the best of the best and do the things on their part too. So we want everything and everybody who interacts with our players to have to be championship caliber.
Sam and then Olin.
Jimbo, since the A&M game, I know you'd mentioned you want your team to move forward. I mean, the Alabama game, I'm sorry. Move forward and approach things mentally the way they need to. What have you seen from them in the last week plus and how their mental approach has been every day in practice?
I think our details have been better. I think our urgency, not that they weren't, but I mean, you can always, and it always can pick up. Good enough is never good enough. You always increase. But I see a larger number, and more importantly, of our young guys, because I say we had some really young guys play early. They didn't know they didn't know. I mean, just because you're talented, just because you can make plays, playing championship winning football in this league is a different thing than being talented and I can go make plays and do things, if that makes any sense. That how important it is to every detail in practice, that every play in practice, that every step in practice, that every hand placement in practice, it's creating a habit, good or bad. And when that pressure comes, your habits are coming straight to the surface. And I think our guys are learning how to practice that, every week, some guys, and I say this from high school guys that haven't been there, they've been so much better than everybody. They've practiced, but they don't have to. It wasn't a thing that they had to just kill themselves in practice. You know what I'm saying? That every day you got to do that, especially when you're a young guy. And I see that from our young players, and our older guys are really pushing those young guys, and the young guys are absorbing it, and I think our practices are getting better. I think we're getting better.
Right side, Olin.
Yeah, a couple things, if you don't
No,
mind.
you can do three. Go.
3, all right. Well,
I'll let you do it, Owen.
all right. Well, then I'll just start with more LSU. So you'll
I ain't commenting on that. I'm done with that stuff. I'm serious. I just made as good a statement. I don't know what else I can say humanly possible. Okay? So I don't know. I mean, what else can I say?
you wouldn't take a call from Scott if he called you then.
Wouldn't take it. Scott has called me ever since he left as a friend. I mean, he'll text me after a game if we won last year, we won the bowl game. I mean, I am at A&M.
Okay.
Now that's the end of it.
All right.
That counts as 3 for you. Next. You used that up. I was trying to be nice to you, see? See, and you abuse it.
That is pretty typical of me, but I just did want to ask you about your offensive line. Have y'all got that now figured out where you have a starting lineup and you feel good about where you are?
Well, I think we do, but I also think just like at receiver or running back or at tight end or at DB, certain matchups of guys may make us depending on what we run that week or what we feature that week. And when you have young players like we do up there, sometimes going into a game plan, all right, we have to be able to run this, and that's something he does. Maybe we'll tweak a guy or move a guy, but we plan on hopefully staying with what we have. But we also have proven there's a lot of guys that can really help us win, so we're going to need them all the rest of the year. If that answers your question. It's tough. I mean, I can't say that concretely because, I don't know 100% how they continue to play. And if they're not getting the job done every week, you make an adjustment.
Go back behind the lights, Tyler, and then down front, David.
That's anywhere, not just there.
Coach, you
Yes,
talked after the Alabama win. You talked about Missouri, potentially being a trap game. Do you look at South Carolina the same way?
Without a doubt. This team has won. They're 4-3. They're on a winning streak. They come back and won a big game. For them to be able to come back like they did, they're growing the program. They come in here and loose and being ready to play and compete against us. I do. And all games are trap games. You got to understand the importance of your opponent's faces no matter when you play them. And I think that's when you start to become a program that your practices don't reflect who you play. It reflects how you play. And that's the most important thing.
Go to the right on the aisle, David, and then to the back, Mike.
We had Jalen Preston here earlier, Jimbo, just to talk about how his game has really evolved and the steps he's taken.
Hey, there's an epitome of a guy who, didn't play for a while that a lot of guys now leave, do things. The maturity of him to say, okay, I'll help on special teams, and all of a sudden an opening came on offense. He jumped back on it, has played very well, been a huge part of what we're doing. Feel very comfortable with him in the game. He's going to be that way the rest of the year, the way I plan on it. And to me, it's just a testament to who he is, what he is, and how he approaches things. And it's a very refreshing thing in today's world.
Go to the back, Mike.
A lot of respect for him.
Cole.
Coach, you always talk about establishing a standard and keeping that up in practice. So as the season progresses, how do you keep raising the bar on what that standard is?
the standard is the standard. You have to match certain things you got to do, and the only thing you can do is go higher. You never go lower. And I think I don't raise it; they do. I think they understand how to raise it, and I think your competitive nature and your team leaders understand that. And if they don't, I'll remind them.
Down front, Cole.
Jimbo, when you go back looking at Ruben's recruitment process, what did
Who's that?
Ruben Fothery.
Yes, sir.
When you go back looking through his recruiting process, what made him stand out that he could be an immediate contributor?
Well, I think two things. First of all, size and strength and length. I mean, he has the measurables. And his body is already, even though it's still a young body, he still had size, mass that, you have to have at this end. His great athleticism and footwork, I mean, he was a heck of a basketball player. He was a district player of the year in basketball and had many Division I basketball offers. So he has feet, athleticism. And then he's a very smart young man. He's intelligent, comes from a great family, good work ethic, allows himself to be coached. And you don't ever know. I mean, to sit there, I didn't know. And I say that. And I say that, people say, well, which one's going to contribute? I've done that before when I was young. I bet you these 5 guys are going to play. This one will take a little longer, and this and 2 of it. The 4 of those 5 didn't see it till they was a redshirt sophomore, and 3 of the guys you said had no chance started and played as freshmen. I mean, you don't ever know till they get here and how they adjust and all those things, but it's not shocking that Ruben's able to do that.
And then Shane named Zeb the starter this week. Former graduate assistant's been around. Just what is the experience of just being able to play no matter what just do for you?
What's the experience of your job do?
A lot.
What's the experience at any job do? I mean, the maturity, the experience of having that and not getting affected by things and understanding how to approach them, understanding how to prepare, and understanding, he came off the bench last week and led them to a victory right down. I mean, when they were struggling on offense as far as they hadn't scored a lot of points. I mean, and so, I mean, it means everything.
Go to the left, Justin, and Cease in the battalion.
Coach, you mentioned in your opening statement, but going back to the Bama game and then again last week against Missouri, momentum swings. I mean, mention it, 28-14, you're like, that's 2 plays, right? But then your offense goes back down and scores. What have they been doing better of establishing the momentum?
Understanding how to compete. And you have to understand how to match. As I say, like he says, how do I go higher? Like that's a statement you made. How do I go higher? Well, I just went higher in a game. And I understand that. And I understand those momentum things of how I got to play better, how I got to do better, how I got to push myself to be better, and when you have to really focus and lock in. And sometimes, people say, well, how'd you do that? Well, I don't know. I just had to. You know what I'm saying? You realize that the urgency in which you do and playing the next play gets you to where you need to go, and you grasp those things. And it goes back to what he says, experience and knowledge and feeling those trends. See, that's something we don't talk about in sports a lot, and it's huge. Momentum swings. Can you handle them? Early in the year when we got hit in the mouth like that, we couldn't respond as well. We're learning to respond, both sides. You know what I mean? And learning to get in critical stops on defense after you have success on offense. And allow you to stretch a lead or even, eat more clock before all those things. That's all a learned behavior. And you got to feel them in the game. It just takes time to learn them. No matter how much I yell about them or scream about them or and you try to constantly point them out. And I do in practice. All right, we're practicing real well. All of a sudden, guys, we just went 3 or 4 plays here and we didn't do that stop. Do you remember in the game when this happened and we let this team back in the game or we couldn't get back in the game or, we got to do those things, and I try to educate as much as you can through practice in those situations.
Go to the left, Cease.
Where is the development of your backup tight ends? I saw a right-handed catch, and I guess he drew a penalty in the game Saturday as well.
No, he didn't.
He didn't. I thought got a penalty on him. Another player make a penalty.
Well, yeah, he did. His maturity. He's doing a really good job, and Baylor's getting back in the mix too and playing. But Max has done an excellent job. Sneaky catches here and there. All the things he does, movement, knowledge-wise, different positions you can play him. And Baylor's starting, because Baylor, like I said, Baylor hadn't played for 2 years. And he missed some of spring. And he got hurt in camp was out with about 2 weeks of camp. But now you starting to see Baylor come back in. And again, I still am high on him like I always was. I think he has a chance to be a really good player in the future here. And those guys emerging is big for us because, they give you big body types that have athleticism and can run.
Stay on the left battalion. I guess Jennifer up first.
Sneaky good question, CC. Come out with one. Blue.
Hi, Coach Fisher. Against Mizzou, Devon Achane and Isaiah Spiller combined for well over 200 rushing yards. How vital is that double running back threat to your offense, and how much of a threat does that make y'all to other teams?
They're different, a little bit different, and to have 2 guys because, listen, you can't go play every play at running back, and you can't go carry it 35, 40 times. Now, they used to in this league. They used to in these days, used to hand it to them 25, 30, 35, 40 times a game. But, it's just different now. And you got to have the diversity. And our younger guys developing even behind those guys because the wear and tear of this season, when you start running it like that, I think one had 20 carries and one had 16, if I'm not right in that game. Is that right? That's and to be able to keep that balance and to go for a 12-game schedule throughout the year. And then plus we throw it to them a lot. You know what I mean? So, and they're blocking and picking up blitzes a lot. I mean, they're vital. And having two guys, and also I think there's some really young guys behind them that I'm really excited about. You're starting to see some of those guys get in that I feel, I think are starting to get ready to play. And I would probably feel, you don't want to not. I mean, you want those guys to play, but I would feel comfortable, getting some of those guys some reps in the near future too. But it's critical, and you can't have enough backs because this league is physical, man. I mean, it is a physical league, and you got to have multiple backs.
We'll stay on left, Italian, and then Olin.
Hi, Coach Fisher. The past couple weeks, you touched on players turning off social media. How have you seen that impact their attitude and overall performance?
It's amazing. It eliminates clutter. It eliminates things you think about and deal with. And if you spend the amount of time you're on social media, go study film. Go study class. Go work on your class. Think how much time you spend on social media. If you did classwork and ball, how much better you'd be. And then they would say real good things about you, okay? Because that means you'd be successful in everything you're doing. And no, it's just, we're so in tuned into that thing, man. It makes a big difference. And I think it's helped us. I hope now. And as we have success, which the last 2 weeks with success, well, I mean, not to the extent we need to have it. I think we can play a lot better, but hopefully they can still turn it off. Leave it alone.
Second row, Olin, and Sam and Travis, you wrap us up.
Jimbo, forgive me for not knowing your schedule back when you were at Florida State, but I wonder, did you have a lot of games against Frank Beamer? And if so, I wonder if you see any similarities with what Shane's doing.
I believe I did as assistant. We had a game in our place, and I'm trying to think. We played him when I was a head coach my first year in the ACC championship. Had a really good game, and they beat us. And then we beat them up there in a really good game in 2012, come back in 2 minutes and beat them. Yeah, I mean, you do. I mean, very sound coaching on both phases. Very good defensive football teams. They had great defensive football teams, explosive offensive guys, good skill guys, and really good special teams. And they're doing the same things again. And Frank was a special teams guy himself. He kind of coached those positions himself. And very hard, tough, physical football teams. And yeah, I would, I never thought about it like that, but in essence, you saying that would be very similar to his dad.
Go to the left, Sam.
One of the great ones of all time.
And Travis down front.
Guy did a heck of a job there, man. Whew.
Jimbo, I'm curious just how deep do you feel like you guys are at the skill positions? Do you feel like you have the depth you need at those skill positions?
You always need more depth. You always need more players. I mean, we're getting there, and a lot of these young guys are playing. But with the injuries, you saw. All the injuries we had this year. You can't be deep enough. And I say that, and because that's just the way things are. And I always want more.
Travis, down front, wrap us up.
Yeah, Coach, just injury status on Green, Peavy, Chapman, and Hez Jones.
Who? Green? Kenny's fine.
Okay, Peavy,
Should be good.
Chapman,
I practiced last week some. Hopefully keep practicing. We'll see.
and then Hez Jones.
Hez is going to have surgery.
Okay.
All right, Coach, thanks for your time.
Thank you.